You can have sex without trust. You can't have real intimacy without trust. There's no doubt that, through a lot of
Nobody saw it coming. Not like this. Not in a courtroom already drenched in months of tension. A place where secrets had spilled like ink across legal papers, where whispers behind closed doors had become public record. But today the silence was louder than any outburst. And the silence came from someone no one expected. Robyn. She sat frozen beside Kody, arms crossed like a shield, a patterned scarf pulled so tightly around her neck it looked less like fashion and more like armor. Kody slouched next to her with his chin high, spreading his legs wide like a king who still thought his throne was safe. Across the aisle, for the first time in months, Christine, Janelle, and Mary sat shoulder to shoulder. It wasn't a reunion, it was reckoning. Because today wasn't about property or secret LLCs or who held the deeds to Coyote Pass. Today was about power and who controlled the money. The courtroom stilled as the bailiff called order. Then the question dropped like a bomb. "Mr. Brown, why did you fail to pay court-ordered support to your former wives?" Robyn didn't flinch. Christine barely tilted her head, as if to say she already knew this moment was coming. She had the receipts, and the judge was about to read them aloud. Kody tugged at his collar, sweat beading on a conscience suddenly too tight. His lawyer jumped in smooth as silk. "Your Honor, my client believed that payments through Mrs. Robyn Brown were adequate under family support obligations." But the judge's eyes sharpened behind his glasses. "We'll address Mrs. Brown's accounts shortly. For now, let's discuss Christine, Janelle, and Mary, because according to compliance records, none of them received a single payment in 90 days. Christine lowered her gaze to her worn leather binder, the same one that had already exposed years of backroom fraud, spiritual manipulation, and lies disguised as leadership. Today, it contained just one thing: proof of non-payment. 3 tabs. 3 months. 3 wives. Each one marked with a red paperclip like a bloodstain. The judge tapped his gavel. Exhibit A. Christine's ledger slid across the table like a knife. The judge read aloud, "Court-mandated payments of $3,200 per wife per month. Signed, notarized, and binding, and yet not a single payment in 3 months." Kody muttered through clenched teeth. "We consolidated through Robyn's account. It was easier." Christine didn't even blink. Calmly, she placed a small black flash drive on the table like a weapon. "This contains the complete history of the Brown Legacy Trust," she said. "Every dollar Kody gave Robyn, and every dollar the rest of us never saw." The courtroom inhaled at once. Because consolidated wasn't strategy. It was confession disguised as accounting. The judge flipped to a page and read, "Here we have a $14,800 payment to RB Enterprises, Robyn Brown's sole proprietorship. Mrs. Brown, would you like to explain?" Robyn opened her mouth, then closed it. Her voice barely rose above a whisper. "It was to cover property taxes on the Flagstaff house." The judge raised an eyebrow. Those taxes were already paid from escrow in February. This was a second payment. Duplicate, unauthorized. Silence. Kody's lawyer tried to spin. "Your Honor, these weren't deceptive. My client was consolidating obligations." The judge cut him off. "Then why were the wives never told?" That's when Janelle finally spoke. Her voice was soft, but it shook the entire room. "Because we were never the priority. Only Robyn was." The judge didn't nod. He didn't need to. Everyone else already had. Everyone else already had. The judge's gavel cracked like thunder. "You are commanded to begin immediate, direct payments to Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, and Mary Brown. Any failure to comply will trigger contempt proceedings. Is that clear?" Kody's nod was stiff, his lips sealed like a man already drowning. Robyn said nothing. Her fists trembled on the table, her eyes locked downward, not just because she lost money, but because she lost her illusion of being untouchable. For years, there had been no contracts, no signed resolutions, just whispered promises passed around like scripture. Robyn will take care of it. Robyn has the best credit. Robyn will be the vault. Kody had said it enough times that it became law in their twisted kingdom. And with no official vote, no documented decision, Robyn became the keeper of every dollar. TLC checks, trust funds, even Coyote Pass payments, all rerouted into her hands. Hands that had never known sacrifice like Janelle's. Hands that had never slept on a creaky mattress in Lehigh or counted pennies at Christmas like Christine and Mary. Yet Robyn became the vault. And the vault was now cracking. It was Janelle who first smelled the rot. Early 2021, She requested a simple breakdown of the Coyote Pass property taxes. Instead of answers, she received silence. Emails unanswered. Paperwork stamped pending. And when pressed, Robyn's reply was always the same. Kody's taking care of it. But he wasn't. He hadn't been for years. So today, when Janelle rose clutching a printed delinquency notice, her voice wasn't vengeful. It was resolute. These taxes were due last March. Twice I asked if they were paid. Twice I was assured. Yet this notice proves otherwise. The judge held the paper, eyes narrowing. Who is listed as the account manager? Janelle pointed without hesitation. Robyn Brown, trust administrator, undefined. The room didn't erupt. It collapsed in silence. Because this wasn't a late bill. It was a bombshell. The sacred land of Coyote Pass had been left to rot under Robyn's watch. Christine opened her binder once more. She produced the original land contract. 5 parcels, equal shares, all signed. But 4 signatures had been wiped away when Robyn demanded restructuring for efficiency. I was promised the new deed would reflect joint ownership, Christine said evenly. Instead, the parcels were funneled into one trust, controlled only by Kody and Robyn. The judge fixed Kody with a stare that pierced deeper than any camera lens. Mr. Brown, is this true? Kody swallowed. It was temporary. We didn't mean to lock anyone out. Christine's binder snapped open again like a whip. That temporary deed is still active, signed, filed, and used to block me from accessing my land last fall. Robyn's head shook violently, her words small. I didn't know it would go that far. But the emails, the routing slips, the official filings, all of it told a different story. And now, with the judge's ruling, the vault was pried open. But instead of treasure, the wives found dust. The gavel fell again. This court broadens the audit to include all Coyote Pass transactions from 2018 to present. Property taxes, title transfers, personal withdrawals. And Mrs. Brown, if funds were diverted for personal enrichment, you may face charges beyond this courtroom. Kody exhaled sharply, his shoulders collapsing like a fortress under siege. For years, the courtroom had been his stage. Now it was his cage. Robyn sat hunched, blinking like a machine gone cold. Once the obedient wife, once Kody's pillar, now crumbling beneath the tide of evidence. Gasps slipped from her lips, not wails, but desperate broken gulps. The judge didn't soften. Mrs. Brown, you swore under oath. Yet evidence contradicts your testimony. Did you know your role in restricting these funds? Robyn looked at Kody like a child begging permission, but Kody's gaze was fixed forward, jaw clenched, temples throbbing. Her whisper cracked through the silence. I just signed what he gave me. I didn't read it. That's when Janelle finally snapped. She leaned forward, voice controlled but cutting like glass. You didn't read the documents that erased our names from land we all paid for? Robyn shrank, face turned away, shoulders hunched. Christine rose next, not with rage, but with iron determination. This was never about favoritism. It's about inclusion. We were left to drown while Robyn became the gatekeeper. From her binder, Christine pulled the family charter, handwritten in 2009, signed by Kody and all 4 wives. Equal assets, equal voices, equal ownership. She handed it to the judge. He studied it carefully. Mr. Brown, is this your handwriting? Your signature? Kody nodded weakly. Then let me be clear, the judge thundered. If this contract was breached to benefit one wife at the expense of the others, this is no longer family dispute. This is civil fraud. Kody flinched like he'd been struck. Robyn sobbed into her sleeve. Mary sat back, arms crossed, her eyes scanning the courtroom like a woman watching a house burn down. Not shocked, not mourning, simply waiting for the ashes. The warning came like a guillotine. One more false statement under oath and contempt proceedings begin. That includes you, Mr. Brown. For the first time, Kody looked afraid. Not furious, not defiant, afraid. Because his authority had never been built on law, it was built on stories. And those stories were being torn apart by facts, contracts, signatures. The courtroom grew still. And in that silence, every broken promise of Coyote Pass came rushing back. The dream of unity, the speeches about legacy, the sunset scene TLC filmed for television. A dream that never reached the paperwork. Now, Janelle held up the real paperwork, the final division draft. 5 equal lots, names printed clearly. This, she said, was never filed. The judge leaned closer. And what was filed instead? Janelle produced the official record. Only 2 names, Kody W. Brown, Robyn A. Brown. No Mary, no Christine. No Janelle. The room froze, and Christine reached once more for her binder, this time pulling out something no one expected. No one expected. Christine rose one final time, binder clutched tightly, her voice calm but devastating. "We located a duplicate of the notarized document," she announced. "But the notary who signed this, she no longer works at the office listed." The judge arched a brow. "Are you alleging forgery, Mrs. Brown?" Christine looked down at her paper, then lifted her eyes back to the bench. "I am saying the notary stamp used here does not match any official county record. And when I called her directly, she confirmed she never witnessed this document." The room froze. Robyn's body jolted like she'd been struck. Kody sucked in air, sharp and ragged. Fraud wasn't a family word anymore. Fraud was a felony. The judge's gavel cracked. "Bailiff, collect the documents. This matter will be referred to the district attorney's office immediately. If forgery is confirmed, this court shifts from civil to criminal." The words landed like a death sentence. Robyn's whisper crept across the silence. "It wasn't supposed to be like this." "Excuse me?" the judge demanded. Her face pale, eyes wide, Robyn stammered, "It was supposed to be temporary. Kody told me we'd add them back later. The bank didn't want the risk, so he put my name alone on the deed." The silence deepened. Christine leaned forward, her voice trembling not with weakness but fury. "And when were we supposed to be added back, Robyn? After the show ended? After the land was sold off? After we stopped asking questions?" The judge's pen scraped across the record. "We now have sworn testimony that property was intentionally placed under two names only, shutting out rightful stakeholders. That is misrepresentation under the law." Kody shot to his feet, blurting, "It was my idea. Don't blame her." "Sit down, Mr. Brown," the judge cut him off. "Your time to testify will come." But the damage was done. The courtroom had already seen the cracks. Kody's desperation, Robyn's complicity, and the unraveling of a scheme built over a decade. The air felt broken, thick, as if the very walls could collapse from the weight of betrayal. Then Christine stepped forward once more, her voice carrying the weight of history. "Your Honor, I need to tell you the day I realized I no longer belonged. May 5th, 2021. I drove to Coyote Pass just to walk my stretch, to breathe. But when I arrived, the gate was locked. A new padlock, not ours. I called Kody, no answer. I called Robyn, straight to voicemail. I waited 30 minutes in my car until a neighbor told me the land had been sold. 2 weeks earlier, without a word to me." Gasps rippled across the gallery. Christine's eyes locked on Kody. "We each sold our dream land, and you didn't even give me the respect of telling me." The judge's pen paused midair. "Is that true, Mr. Brown? Was Mrs. Brown not informed of the sale?" Kody stayed silent. Robyn blinked slowly, lips parted but no words formed. Then something no one foresaw happened. Mary stood up. Her voice rang like steel. "I would like to testify." For years, Mary had been the quiet one, the loyal one, the forgotten first wife. But today, her silence ended. "I thought being quiet would preserve our family. But silence only protects those who profit from secrets." She placed a printed email before the judge. "This is a TLC production memo, forwarded only to Kody and Robyn, about a spin-off contract filmed exclusively on Coyote Pass. A fresh start. Without us." The judge frowned. "So the plaintiffs were excluded not just from land ownership, but from financial benefits derived from it as well?" Mary nodded. "And that's only one example." Before the judge could respond, the clerk handed over a sealed manila envelope. Inside, a forensic report. It revealed deposits into a secret account under Robyn's maiden name. The total? $1 million across 6 years. None of it disclosed in discovery. The judge's voice turned to stone. "Mrs. Brown, why was this account concealed?" Robyn's eyes brimmed with tears. "It was for the children. To protect them." The judge shook his head. "Intent does not erase legality. This court subpoenas every record tied to that account." Robyn's face went ghost white. Her hands shook so violently it seemed she might collapse. From the gallery, Christine's daughter Gwen stood abruptly, holding a battered black binder. Inside, screenshots, emails, voice memos, even video. She handed it over as evidence. The screen lit up with a hidden recording, Kody, seated in Robyn's house speaking candidly. "They don't get it, Robyn. They're not business-minded. This fund isn't fraud, it's future-proofing. And if they keep digging, we'll just say it was TLC's idea." The video ended. The silence didn't. The judge's eyes shifted to the TLC representative seated in the back. Did your network assist in creating off-record revenue channels? The representative stammered. We cannot confirm without counsel. Then bring your counsel, the judge snapped. This is no longer a family feud. This is corporate fraud. Kody leapt up. Your Honor, that video was recorded without consent. Gwen rose too, fire blazing. Consent? You used my face, my name, my childhood to build your empire. You profited off me and never gave me a dime. I have every right to expose you. Robyn didn't defend him this time. She sat still, broken, silent. The judge tapped his pen sharply. Effective immediately, this court freezes all accounts tied to Brown Trust Holdings, Robyn A. Brown, and Kody W. Brown, including any under their children's names if linked to profits. The gallery erupted in whispers. Christine leaned toward Janelle. It's finally happening. Mary bit her lip, a half-smile breaking through, relief and sorrow mingling. Then TLC delivered another blow. Their documents showed Kody pitching a secret spin-off. His email read, "They don't need to know. I'll handle them." The judge's face hardened. If these funds were solicited under false pretenses, your production income may be subject to restitution. Robyn whispered to Kody, voice hollow, "We're going to lose everything." But Christine, Janelle, and Mary sat taller. It wasn't about money anymore. It was about truth. About finally being seen as the women who built the Brown Empire only to be discarded. And then came the moment that shook the entire courtroom. Mary stood once more, her voice steady. I gave Kody access to my inheritance, $140,000, to help buy Coyote Pass. I signed no contract. I was never paid back. And when I asked about it later, he told me, stay loyal or walk away. The courtroom gasped. Christine's eyes widened. Janelle gripped her chair. Gwen straightened in disbelief. Mary handed over her proof, bank statements, wire transfers, Kody's dismissive email. Your name doesn't need to be on the deed. Your family. The judge's voice rose for the first time. Mr. Brown, your name appears across fraudulent agreements, doctored property records, and now misappropriated funds. You are teetering on perjury. Kody's face burned red, his body shaking. You don't understand. We were a family. We did everything as a unit. The judge's reply cut like a knife. That is not what your emails show. That is not what your bank statements prove. And that is not how the law defines consent or fiduciary duty. Then came the line that would make national headlines. I see no difference between what occurred here and what I would describe as calculated emotional extortion under the guise of spiritual leadership. Robyn gasped. Janelle whispered, did he just say extortion? Christine's hand covered her mouth. Even the bailiff shifted uneasily. Outside, reporters scrambled, no longer covering a TLC soap opera, but a courtroom scandal of fraud, financial abuse, and potential racketeering. Inside, Judge Hamilton declared, this court will initiate a special hearing on all marital and post-divorce financial agreements involving the Browns. Mary lowered herself into her chair. She looked weary, but not broken. For the first time in decades, she was no longer silent. She was heard. She was heard.